What's up guys, my name is Ryan Shirley and I spent the last few years exploring Europe's capital cities and I want to show you my favorites. So here's my European capitals top 20. Europe is home to some of the world's most intriguing capitals, from the endless history of Rome to the one-of-a-kind architecture of Istanbul. Europe's capitals offer so much variety and diversity. Alright, let's start this video off at Denmark's beautiful capital of Copenhagen. Now, Copenhagen started as a Viking fishing village in the 10th century and became the economic center of Scandinavia during the Renaissance. Today, Copenhagen is the cultural, economic, and governmental center of Denmark. One of the most recognizable places in Copenhagen is the Nyhavn Canal. It's a 17th century canal that is lined with beautifully colored houses and historical wooden ships. It's just a great place to walk around and enjoy some Danish restaurants and cafes. Another impressive spot in the city is the Copenhagen Opera House. It's one of the most modern and expensive opera houses ever built, with an estimated cost of $500 million. Copenhagen is just such a great city to walk around and explore all the hidden treasures. After Denmark, we're going to head over to visit Switzerland's capital of Bern. Now, in my opinion, I think Bern is one of Europe's most beautiful capitals. I love how the blue waters of the Aare River winds perfectly through the city. Now, Bern's origins date back to the 12th century, and today the capital hosts a population of just over 1 million people. Now, one of the most impressive places in Bern is the Old City. It's the medieval part of Bern. One of the most prominent features is the Cathedral of Bern. It started construction in 1421, and it's the tallest cathedral in all of Switzerland at a height of 100 meters. Bern's just such a wonderful city, and I hope you all can visit one day. Alright, after Switzerland, we're going to head down to Greece to visit the city of Athens. Athens is the largest city in Greece, and it's one of the oldest cities in the world. It's just such a wild place with so much history. It's a fairly cheap city, and it just has amazing food. One of my favorite places in Athens is the Acropolis. If you want to get up into the Parthenon, it costs about 20 euros, so it's a little expensive, but it's worth it, especially when you're there. When I was there, I was able to get some of my favorite time lapses over the city. They're just an endless sea of white buildings with mountains. If you do go to Greece, I definitely recommend exploring Athens for at least a day or two. Afterwards, we're heading over to the nearby Turkey to visit the notorious capital of Istanbul. Istanbul is one of the most fascinating places. It's a transcontinental city, which means that Istanbul is part of both Europe and Asia. The Bosphorus Strait, which is considered to be the boundary between Europe and Asia, runs right through the capital. Istanbul is the most populated city of all of Europe, with a population of over 15 million. The history of Istanbul is endless. It was settled as far back as 7th century BC, and it became the capital of the Roman Empire in the year 330 AD. One of my favorite features of the city is the Galata Tower. It's a uniquely shaped medieval building that dominates the skyline. It was built in 1348, and the tower was used to spot fires. One of the most important features of Istanbul is the Hagia Sophia. It was built all the way back in the year 537 AD as a Christian church, but after the fall of Constantinople in 1453, the church was converted to a mosque by the Ottoman Empire. At the time of its completion, it was the world's largest interior space and the first building to use a fully pendative dome. It's just such an amazing structure. Right next to the Hagia Sophia is the iconic Blue Mosque. It was constructed in the 1600s, and it stands today as one of Istanbul's most impressive buildings. After exploring Turkey, we're going to head over to Spain's capital to visit Madrid. Now, located in central Spain, Madrid is a beautifully modern city. The capital of Spain was originally Toledo, but Philip II moved his court to Madrid in the 1560s, and the city has continuously been Spain's capital since 1606. The Plaza Mayor is a great place to visit and experience the heart of Madrid. The Royal Palace is another incredible spot. It's the official residence of the Spanish royal family, and it's the biggest palace in all of Europe. I just can't believe how big it is. Afterwards, we're going to head over to Slovenia to visit the capital of Ljubljana. Now, while Ljubljana is one of the smallest capitals in Europe with a population around 300,000, it's one of the most stunning in my opinion. One thing I love about the city is how the Ljubljanica River runs right through it. It makes it feel like you're not even in a city. The crowning feature is the Ljubljana Castle, as it overlooks the city. It was built around the 12th century, and it's one of the capital's most popular attractions. If you want to venture outside the capital, I'd highly recommend making an hour drive to Lake Bled. It's one of Europe's most beautiful lakes, and it has this little island and church right in the middle of it. Just hard to beat the scenery there. After Slovenia, we're going to head over to Sweden to visit the capital of Stockholm. I was able to visit Stockholm last summer, and I was just pleasantly surprised. It's made up of 14 islands and 50 bridges. Compared to other Nordic countries such as Norway and Iceland, I felt Sweden was much more affordable. I had a good time walking around the city and using their public transportation. I swear I rode on the world's biggest escalator. I just loved the buildings and architecture there. It reminded me a lot of Copenhagen with its colorful buildings and canals full of wooden ships. I mean, just such a wonderful city, and I think everyone should give it a visit. Alright, after Stockholm, we're going to head over to the charming capital of Dublin. Now located on Ireland's eastern coast, Dublin is a city full of charm. The capital is known for its beautiful gardens and architecture. I mean, just such a friendly vibe to it. When you're there, you can take a walk across the River Liffey on the uniquely designed Samuel Beckett Bridge, or you can walk to the coast to experience the Irish Sea. I just love the feel of Dublin. It's just such a magical capital. What's also cool about Dublin is that you can visit most places in the country with a few hours drive. You can make the 3-hour journey to the Cliffs of Moher on Ireland's west coast, or you could venture 2 hours to the spooky, dark hedges in Northern Ireland. There's just so much to experience. After Ireland, we're going to head down to Austria to visit the capital of Vienna. Vienna has been ranked as one of the world's most livable cities. It's a perfect combination of medieval and modern architecture. Vienna is known as the city of music. Musicians such as Beethoven and Mozart called Vienna their home. One of the most impressive places is the Schönbrunn Palace. It is the summer residence of the Habsburg ruler and has over 1,400 rooms. There's stunning gardens and mazes to explore around the palace. If you're into opera, you can visit the Vienna State Opera House. It was built in 1869 and the interior will just blow your mind. It's so beautiful. I can't think of a better place to witness some opera. Vienna is just such a beautiful city, and I hope you all can check it out. Alright, after Austria, we're going to head down to Italy to visit Rome. Now, Rome may be the most famous and iconic capital in the world. Its history spans over 28 centuries, with its founding taking place in the year 1753 BC. During ancient times, Rome's population peaked around 1 million people. It's just crazy to think that a city was so advanced that it could support so many people during that time. Ancient Rome's architecture stands today and draws millions of tourists each year. One of the most well-known structures of the capital is the Colosseum. It's the largest amphitheater built at its time and could hold anywhere from 50 to 80,000 spectators. You can marvel its architecture from the outside or take a guided tour to witness the interior. One of my personal favorite attractions in Rome is the Trevi Fountain. It's this Baroque styled fountain that was completed in 1762. If you do go, the earlier the better because you can get super crowded there. Anyways, I just hope you all can visit Rome someday. It's just hard to beat the history of that city. After Rome, let's head over to the beautiful city of Tallinn. Located in Estonia on the coast of the Baltic Sea, Tallinn received its city rights in the year 1248, and during medieval times, it quickly became a major trading hub due to its strategic positioning. One thing that I love about Tallinn is that you can take a relatively short boat ride to Helsinki, Stockholm, or even St. Petersburg, Russia. As for the city, one of the most impressive places is Tallinn's Old Town. It's one of Europe's most well-preserved medieval cities. I just love all the buildings and architecture there. One thing that's fascinating about Tallinn is that it has the highest number of startups per person than anywhere in Europe. Tallinn was also just featured in Christopher Nolan's new film Tenet. If you haven't seen that yet, your mind's gonna be blown. Anyways, if you want to visit one of Europe's most trending cities, you have to give Tallinn a visit. After Estonia, we're going to head over to Russia to visit Moscow. Moscow is the world's most northernmost and coldest megacity. It's also Europe's second most popular city with over 12.4 million residents. One of the coolest places in Moscow is St. Basil's Cathedral. It was completed in 1561 under orders of Ivan the Terrible. It has such a unique look with its colorful onion-shaped domes. Right next to the cathedral is the Moscow Kremlin. It's a fortified complex that was completed in 1495. It serves as the official residence of Vladimir Putin, so it's basically the Russian equivalent of the White House. One of the most stunning buildings, in my opinion, is the Moscow State University. It reminds me of a scene straight out of a Batman movie. I mean, there's just so many intriguing places to visit in Moscow. What a wild place. After Moscow, we're going to go visit possibly the most iconic city in the world, London. I've traveled more to London than any other international destination. I love the city so much and I just keep coming back for more. Everything from double-decker buses to the energy of Piccadilly Circus makes the city feel so alive. There's just so many places to see. You can check out the iconic Big Ben and walk across the bridge to see the Palace of Westminster. There's the Tower Bridge, which is possibly the most famous bridge in all London. You can go see the Stoic Guards at Buckingham Palace or take a ride on the London Eye. If you haven't already been to London, I highly recommend visiting when you can. It's hard to beat London's atmosphere. There's no city like it in the world. While we're still in the UK, we're gonna head over to Edinburgh. If you want to go back in time, Edinburgh is a must. It's where J.K. Rowling wrote her Harry Potter novels. When I started traveling, this was one of the first cities I visited. It's a medieval town with intricate neoclassical buildings, cobblestone streets, and beautiful gardens. The iconic Edinburgh Castle overlooks the city and is home to Scotland's crown jewels. One of my favorite places in Edinburgh is Calton Hill, that just offers a beautiful view of the entire city. Another cool spot in Edinburgh is Arthur's Seat. It's located in Holyrood Park and it's a short walk from Edinburgh Centre. Arthur's Seat is an extinct volcano with an elevation of 823 feet. When I was there, I wanted to get as high as I could so I could see all of Edinburgh. I made the hike up and reached the top. I just had a good time hiking around Holyrood Park and enjoying the views of one of Europe's most beautiful cities. After Edinburgh, we're going to head over to the Netherlands to visit Amsterdam. Now known for its elaborate canal system, narrow houses, and countless bridges, Amsterdam has a vibe like none other. I was in Amsterdam many years ago and its impression has always left a mark on me. It's just crazy to think that people were able to construct a city around canals hundreds of years ago. Truly mind-blowing. Amsterdam originated as a small fishing village in the 12th century and rose to one of the world's most important trading ports in the 17th century. If you fancy art, you can visit the Van Gogh Museum and witness some of the world's most famous paintings. The Rijksmuseum is another wonderful place to check out some art. When I was there, I just had an incredible time just walking around the canals and enjoying the atmosphere of this incredible city. I mean, it's just hard to beat this place. Make sure you add Amsterdam to your European bucket list. After Netherlands, we're going to head over to Budapest. Now located in Hungary, Budapest is one of Europe's most photogenic destinations. The Danube River runs right through Budapest, making it a unique and stunning city. One of my favorite attractions is the Chain Bridge. It's a suspension bridge that runs across the Danube. First time I saw the bridge was this video that Will Smith did where he got on top of the bridge towers. The Hungarian Parliament building is another incredible piece of architecture. It was opened in 1902 and it's the third largest parliament building in the world. Budapest is also famous for its thermal baths. The Széchenyi thermal bath is the largest in Europe and it's known for its medicinal properties. It's hard to beat the beauty and energy of Budapest. After Hungary, we're going to head up north to Czech Republic to visit the capital city of Prague. Due to its location and rich history, Prague is known as the political, cultural, and economic center of Europe. Prague was the capital of the Kingdom of Bohemia and was the main residence of many Roman emperors such as Charles IV. One of my favorite attractions is the Charles Bridge. Its construction began in 1357 and it wasn't finished until the beginning of the 15th century. The bridge is decorated with an alley of over 30 statues. I mean, it's just so scenic and such a great feature in Prague. The Old Town Square is also a great place to explore, and the Prague Castle is another beautiful sight to see. It's considered to be the largest ancient castle in the world, and it was built more than 1,000 years ago in the 9th century. I mean, that's a freaking long time. Prague has such a historic vibe, and I hope all can visit. After the Czech Republic, we're going to Germany to visit the capital of Berlin. Now today, Berlin is a thriving capital with a population of over 3.6 million people. It's an incredible city with a complicated history. Now Berlin was first documented in the 13th century. During World War II, it was the headquarters of Hitler's Third Reich and became the most heavily bombed city in history. After the war, Berlin was divided into the East and West Berlin. With the end of the Cold War, East and West Berlin were finally reunited in 1990. So one of my favorite spots is the Brandenburg Gate. It's this 18th century neoclassical monument that is Germany's national symbol of unity and peace. You can also check out the Berlin Wall Memorial to see remnants of the historical wall. Berlin's television tower overlooks the city and is the tallest structure in Germany. Berlin is just an overall beautiful capital that all should see. After Germany, let's head over to Portugal to visit the vibrant city of Lisbon. Being one of the oldest cities in the world, Lisbon is Europe's second oldest capital city after Athens. I mean, there's just so much culture and history in this city. You can check out the Sanctuary of Christ the King monument. It reminds me of a mixture of Rio de Janeiro and San Francisco's bridge. The Commerce Square is another beautiful spot to explore. One of the coolest parks in Lisbon is the Parque Eduardo VII. It's full of beautifully designed hedges and just a great place to enjoy the afternoon or evening. The Belém Tower is also an important monument that served as a point of embarkation for Portuguese explorers. Lisbon is also close to some stunning beaches such as Ursa Beach. I haven't been to Lisbon yet, but certainly one of the first new European cities I want to explore. For our final destination, we're going to France's capital, Paris. Now, since the 17th century, Paris has been Europe's major center of finance, diplomacy, fashion, and the arts. Paris is one of the world's most visited cities, and with all its attractions and fascinating history, it's easy to see why. Paris's most recognizable attraction is the Eiffel Tower. It was built in 1889 for the World Fair. The Eiffel Tower is 324 meters high, which made it the tallest man-made structure in the world until 1930. You can take an elevator up there to get an incredible 360 panoramic view of all of Paris. Another popular attraction is the Louvre Museum. It's the world's largest art museum, and it's home to Da Vinci's Mona Lisa. You can also take a drive around the Arc de Triomphe or walk the grounds of the Palace of Versailles. And there's just so much to see in this grand city. I hope you all can visit Paris sometime in your life. Alright, well that is it for my European capitals top 20. Let me know where your favorite capital city is. If you want to feel relaxed, I started a relaxation channel where I post hour-long videos of places such as the Alps and the Highlands of Scotland with calming music that you can just have playing in the background to bring some peace and nature in your life. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at shirley.films. It's Ryan, and we will see you later.